friends, I have a Q&A video for you today. You guys submitted questions and I'm going to give you my completely honest opinion. So don't get butthurt. Alright, first question is, I have a credit card that is almost maxed out, and just as soon as I have my emergency fund together, I'm going to start working it off. But I hear a lot of people saying that they paid off their credit card and cut it up. I want to cut it up now so I can't use it anymore. Is that the completely wrong way of going about things? No, you were right. Dave Ramsey recommends, and me, to go ahead and cut up your credit cards. Make that commitment now that you're not going to use credit to pay for things anymore, because you can use your money to pay for it instead. And if you don't have the money to pay for it, then you don't buy it at the moment. So go ahead, cut up those credit cards. As soon as you're finished working on your baby step one emergency fund, you can even close that account if you want, or you can just let it lapse. But yeah, cut up that credit card, get it out of your wallet, and make that decision to never use it again, and you'll be so much better off. Yeah, you don't have to wait until it's paid off to cut it up. As long as it's in your wallet, there's going to be the temptation to use it. So take the temptation out of the picture. Get out of the garden. You know, Adam, Eve kind of thing. That was like a biblical reference. That wasn't topical at all. So no, I think you should absolutely go ahead and cut it up. You got this. Alrighty. Question. Love your videos. I have to admit, at first I was skeptical of any YouTube budgeting videos, but after I've watched several of your posts, I have to admit I'm a convert. Yay! Your ideas are very real world, and I'm impressed that you also report your failures. Very much looking forward to your next post and wish you all the best. By the way, when did you begin this frugality lifestyle, and how much debt did you begin with? Thank you very much. I think that reporting my failures, even ones that are embarrassing to me, are really important. So you guys don't think that I'm just preaching at you. This is just my life, and I'm trying to go about living it as smartly as possible with great consideration and to build a better one for myself. So sometimes I mess up, and I want you guys to feel like this is a safe space where you can admit that you messed up too, and then fix it so you don't make that same mistake again. When I report to you guys that I mess up, I don't make the same mistake again, because I don't want to have to report it again. That's just dumb. You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, universe. So yeah. All right. So I started this channel 3 years ago this month, and I started the plan, started budgeting 3.5 years ago with $32,800 in debt. It was a lot, and now I'm almost out of it. I'm super excited. It's been a long time coming. It's been a lot of work. It's been 3 or 4 states, and I'm kind of like finally coming to the end of it, and I'll be debt free soon, and I will be able to live like no one else, because I have lived like nobody else. So thank you very much for watching. I'm glad to have converted you. It's fun to drink Kool-Aid sometimes. Alrighty, next up. Why does your female dog have a boy's name? Or is Rory a girl's name in the US? Well, let's get her in here for a second. Jingle, 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 jingle. Come here! Come here! Want me in the video? Up, 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 up. There's the puppy. Okay, so yes, I understand in the UK, Rory is a boy's name. In fact, a boy's name is one of the... She's done with us now. A boy's name is one of the inspirations for her name, Rory from Doctor Who. But the main inspiration for her name was Rory Gilmore from the Gilmore Girls. And Rory Gilmore is a girl and a Gilmore Girl. And so I just really like the name. I actually really love the name Lorelai, but I thought I might want to save that for a kid one day. So I decided on Rory for her. And I think it suits her. She's a sweet girl. And yeah, but I do get a lot of times, well, one, people think I'm saying Roy, R-O-Y, not Rory. And so they think she's a boy. And 2, people always think dogs are boys for some reason. And she's a dark dog, so I guess that doesn't help. But yeah, Rory is a girl, and I named her after Rory from Gilmore Girls, and a little bit from Rory after Doctor Who, but a male, female, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, but thank you for asking. Alrighty, talk about college. Where did you go? When did you graduate? What's your degree? And will you go back? Very assertive. Okay. I went to Mississippi University for Women, which is a co-ed institution and has been since 1985. They just did not change the name, mostly because no one can agree on a new name. So yeah, I went there. I graduated in 2010. I attended there from when I graduated in 2006 from high school. So I did four full years at the university. And what's the next? And my degree is in communications with an emphasis in journalism. So I did the journalism program there in the communications college, and I am a newspaper editor. So there's that. At least I'm using my degree, right? And what was the last one? And will I go back? I don't know about graduate school. I've always said I wouldn't go back to graduate school unless someone paid me to. I like school and I like learning new things, but college was always kind of like, I worked all through college and I still took out student loans to live off of. But to me, college always felt like a job. And then I'd go a job that I wasn't getting paid for, a job that I had to pay to go to. And so, for instance, like if a company one day wants to pay me to get my master's degree, I'm gonna do that. But until then, if I have to shell out another 30 grand to go to college again, no thanks. It's just, I don't particularly need it in the field that I'm in right now. Maybe I'll be in a different field one day and I'll need it then, but at the moment, no, not planning on going and getting my master's degree, and certainly not planning on going and getting a PhD. Once again, unless someone pays me to do it, because I love something free. You guys know I love free stuff, so there's that. Okay. Next question. How much food waste do I have in a month? Not much. I used to be really, really bad about food waste. You know, I'd waste meat, fruit, everything, especially right out or in college and then right out of college, because I was never really taught how to meal plan or cook or anything like that. And so I'd just go to the store and I'd pick up some random stuff and I didn't plan out my meals. Now, as a slightly wiser, definitely older adult, I have figured out that the only way to keep to my grocery budget is to make a weekly meal plan and shop the sales. If you guys want more information on that, I have a video called How I Meal Prep or Meal Plan in 5 minutes. And it shares all of my secrets on how I price match super easily and just make the whole process cheap, easy. And I'm not necessarily gonna say fun, but as the least amount of not fun as you will have all week. And I have kind of made it into a little game to keep my grocery budget in check and not waste food. So obviously if I'm spending money on food that I'm not eating, I'm failing. But lately, especially, I'd say over the past year and a half or so, I haven't had a lot of food waste. There's the occasional thing where a piece of fruit or two, you know, I'll buy a bunch of fruit at the beginning of the week. By the end of it, a few pieces have gone bad, but I've actually figured out how to repurpose a lot of them. For instance, when bananas go bad, I freeze them and put them in smoothies. When apples go bad, I make them into apple chips. When chicken goes bad, I feed it to Rory. So there are ways to mitigate how much food waste you have. I try not to have to throw away anything, and it physically hurts me to my soul a little when I have to like throw away a rotten potato, because I'm like, I could have eaten that and I paid for that, and I'm essentially throwing away money. So I've gotten a lot better at that. Check out my food plan videos. I have a whole playlist on them on how I plan out my food for the week, and then pre-cook it sometimes, portion it out, do whatever I have to do to make sure that I'm not throwing stuff away. I also report when I have food waste, usually in my 5 frugal things videos. So if I had to throw away something, especially something expensive, I cop to it. And having to cop to it also makes me waste even less food because I don't want to have to admit that I did it. Alrighty, final question. Do you ever find it difficult to share such personal information with finances with strangers on the internet? And what, if anything, helped you to get over that? Example, in some families, talking about money matters with friends, family, or strangers would be taboo. I completely understand that. And I I don't know. I think that people should talk about money more. I think that almost everyone would be better off if we had more open conversations about money. And considering that I have that philosophy, it would be incredibly hypocritical of me if I wasn't then willing to talk about my money. So here's the thing. You want to know how much people make on YouTube? Tell people how much you make on YouTube. So it creates this conversation. That's why I tell you guys how much I make on here, how much I make on sponsored videos, how much I make at my job, how much I make side gigging. So one, people who are trying to get into it have a realistic expectation of, Rory's back, of how much that they can make. Two, so that people can ask for what they deserve and have the research behind it to be fairly compensated. And three, so that everybody can be paid fairly, especially between the sexes. A lot of times men will negotiate salaries in jobs and women just won't. And the wage gap is absolutely real. I think that anything that we can do to close that and make sure that women are paid what we're worth is our responsibility to do so. And my small part of that is telling people how much I make and trying to fight for that equality. Having that open conversation is always going to make it harder for people to not give you what you deserve. So recently, when negotiating for a job, I always look job salary. I always look up glassdoor.com and those other websites. And when I'm there, I self-report what I make, so that other people who are looking for jobs that I've done before know what they can negotiate for if they've been offered less than their worth. I think it's absolutely important that all of us do that. So yeah, it's uncomfortable to talk about money sometimes. It's super uncomfortable to like ask your coworkers, what do you make? But it's gonna be better for all of us if we're open and we're honest about that, and we can have better discussions about money, so that everybody can live better lives. And the only people that it benefits when we don't do that is the big corporations and the people who want to pay you less than you're worth. So don't let them win. I haven't had an issue talking about money. It probably helped that I started out not making very much money. Some people would probably find that even more embarrassing to talk about making $26,000 a year, which is what I was making when I started this channel. I didn't. I saw it as something of, if I made a plan so that I could pay off my debt, and if I could do it on $26,000, I figured that might inspire someone who is making more or even making less, that if I can make strides towards this, only making $26,000 a year, then you can too. So that overpowered any uncomfortableness that I was having. So thank you so much for your question. Just don't ask me to talk about my weight, okay? I'll talk about money all day. Don't ask me about my weight. So there are some lines, like my health and that kind of things. I'm still super uncomfortable talking about that, mostly because it doesn't benefit anyone else if I talk about that. Just saying. I'll talk about my dog all day too. So Rory, come here. Come here. You gotta be in the shot. You go. I think she needs to go for a walk. So submit your questions below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.